All right, guys, welcome back to the Deadman's Tome podcast. Your host, Mr. Deadman. Joining me today are two of the most misogynistic motherfuckers ever to exist. No, probably not. Both have female victims in their stories. One has a female main character, and I think we're getting some feedback. Um, okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. Anyway, so joining me right now is sorry, I'm getting some feedback through here through sorry, Brian
Yeah,
Smith. Sorry about
yeah,
that. Tech problems coming.
that's okay, man.
Anyway, so so Brian Smith is the author of Caught in the Act, and then we have Mr. Matthew Johnson, the author of Scuttle Bug. Um, so to really go into this, so what's going on, guys?
Going on with what specifically?
Hmm?
Projects? Ideas?
Well, what brings y'all to Deadman's Tome?
Well, I saw it advertised in one of the Facebook pages I was a part of, and I thought, hey, might as well give it a shot.
Okay. Yeah. So who wants to go first?
I can go first.
We'll go,
Yeah.
Mr. Matthew. So if you haven't read Mr. Johnson's story already, Scuttlebug, it's featured in the latest anthology that we have, the Deadman's Tome Book of Horrors, Volume 1. I described it as a very short but gruesome tale that will haunt you, like especially especially if you're a woman. Um, I mean, to say that it's about a monstrous mutated bug that has a thing for the pink flesh. Is that about right?
Yeah, but that's not the entire point of the story.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a vehicle for the message, which it comes at the end. So
All right.
I was looking for like, okay, how can I write the most grossest, gruesome story, but yet still have something with a point?
And
And
that's good. That's good.
and that's where the idea kind of came from. I was just like, okay, well, uh, earwigs, they're pretty creepy little creatures. They get in everywhere.
Yeah,
They're,
and
if you,
you did that well. I mean, it was a crazy creature. Like just insisting, just a way, just like she wakes up in her sleep or from her sleep, if you will, and that's supposed to be your comfort area, right? But then like something's like taking over her, or at least trying to crawl into her space.
mhm. Well, it's in a way, it's like in our modern world, we have things just come into our comfort zones. Because if you at the end, I'm not going to give away the story. There's this modern convenience that really helps. It gives a hint of why the earwig is such a mutated creature and how they invade our space because we are
Hmm.
invading their space in a way. So that's one of those ideas that just came in.
Yeah, and I got that vibe towards the end, with the pest or the exterminator trying to get rid of the bugs, but it's like, what's the point in that? They're just gonna find a new place to hide, and hey, they're gonna start hiding in the human body. uh, but what was the process like writing that story?
I basically wrote it in 2 days. I showed it to a couple people, and they're all like, "Well, this is really gross." I'm like, "Well, good. I accomplished one goal." And from there, I just had one of my friends. She reads a lot of my work. She gives advice about how to make, edits, etc. And so I'm like, either ship it around and see what happens. And you happen to see it, and you're like, "Yes, I want it." I'm like, "Oh, okay. You're only the second one that I sent it off to." Got one
Oh, look at
rejected.
that!
Yep, and then boom.
All right, and how's your work? How's your other stories going along? I mean, have they? they've been accepted elsewhere? I mean, you got other stories in other magazines. What's going on?
Well, right now I'm in the process of editing a self-published novel for fantasy. It's not as gross. I do have I put out a pitch to Dirge magazine using the concept that I did from Scuttle Bug and expanded on that universe there and made it into more of a community to help explain what's going on.
That'd
So,
be good.
and so
I'll
even
be
my
interested.
yeah, if I don't get it into the Dirge, and then I might just write up as my own little novella. So novella novel, depending on the size. It's
Well,
already
you write
out.
that up. I'll definitely help promote that as much as I can. Uh, I wouldn't even ask for anything. Just review it or something. Just give me a press release. I'll just plant that thing on the site. What have you? Um, Mr. Smith. I
Yes,
try to be all formal, and polite. Mr. Smith,
that's okay.
Brian Smith. Hey, Brian, you read
Yeah.
Scuttlebug?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What was your take of it?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good story. I thought it was very like I was more worried about. I was kind of more in depth about where the bug was going because I was like, well, because I mean, I have a thing about bugs. I hate them.
Oh yeah,
I hate them.
I
Like
can't stand
the
them.
other morning, my girlfriend was screaming. She goes, "Come here, come here!" and and she found one of those little centipede looking
Mhm.
things in the bathroom, and we were
Oh
both
man.
like too afraid to touch it. And
Oh,
here I had like a little dustpan, a little broom, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna catch it and I'm just gonna let it out, and I'm gonna be nice to this one, because if it was a spider, I'd have burnt the apartment down. And
look, and you seem like a pretty big guy. I mean, like a big guy your size, afraid of a bug, but it happens. You know,
and
I just see like
yeah,
I don't know, swooping into a little dust tray,
and I ended up
powering away.
and I ended up killing it anyway. I ended up stepping on
Of course, of course.
it.
You ever had one of those friends that would like, no, 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 don't step on the bug. We gotta set it free. We gotta keep it alive.
Yeah, I've had friends
Like,
that'll
why?
like preserve it in like little styrofoam cups and carry it around. I'm like, oh God, how can you carry that thing around?
Mm-mm.
You're just waiting for that thing to kind of creep out of there and start crawling across your hand.
Oh man. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. When those things breed, and they literally brood like in the hundreds of thousands. No, killing one,
Yeah,
killing a dozen. No,
yeah,
no, no. Just
yeah,
drop in a bucket. It's okay.
yeah.
I would like to see a hardcore vegan who really takes it all the way through and through, live like in a roach infested apartment, and be like, I love all animals, I love all bugs and everything.
Bugs.
I would
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Well, we usually try to move things to our place too. But usually, if they invade the house and they're outside their turf,
Yeah,
got to protect them.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like that too, because hey, you bugs stay the fuck out. You stay out. You stay out
Stay
there.
out.
You come in here. Um, Johnston, Matthew, you have any fears about bugs? You
No, no, bugs don't really bother me too much. Like I said, as long as they're doing their thing away from me, and they usually don't bother me. I mean, my daughter is definitely afraid of spiders. She hates them. She sees
Mm.
one little tiny one the size of a dust mote, and she's like freaking out. I gotta run in there with a cup and a paper. Like, where is it? Let me get out.
My
And then she's
girlfriend's
so
the same way.
hmm. I want to pretend to be like, no, I'm not afraid. But no, at the same time, if I see a roach in the kitchen, I'm just like freaking out. I'm like, that's it. We're bombing the whole thing. We're bombing the whole fucking kitchen. All this shit is, it's crazy. But see, I imagine that you have a wife, girlfriend. I don't know what. All
my
right.
wife.
Okay. Okay. You just to make sure, like, not to get in the bedroom scene or anything, but whenever you go down on her, I mean, you haven't found any bugs or anything like that. I mean,
Nope.
we're not. This is not like a life experience. This book, I mean, this story is not based on true events.
Not a autobiographical or biographical events. Nope.
Oh, that's good. All right. So what else can you tell us about inspiration?
Well, when it comes to like writing horror stories, I mean, you know, basically my first tutor teacher was Stephen King.
Hmm.
So, and I read all his stuff, and I watched the movies, and the movies suck completely compared to the books. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
he really gets to the heart of things when it comes to the scary and the horror stuff. So that's my whole goal, is try to like get to the heart, you know, get to the human element as well as what really drives people to fears and disgust.
And that's something else we can get into as well, of like why I don't know, Stephen King's material, like, it works so much better as a novel, as a book, than they do as a movie. Like I don't know, like, well, even the Dark Tower series. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen there with that. I mean, I'm not really worried about the casting.
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about the casting. I'm like worried, like, are they even gonna make it? Is it even gonna come together well at all?
We will find out in February, I guess. That's when the release is.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed why they always miss is because they don't want the characters. They want to just do the plot. They just want to put the scary crap out and say, here, let me go boo in your face, without getting into the actual human elements. That's why movies like, you know, The Shawshank Redemption worked very well, and Green Mile. They dug right into the human element.
Yeah. And when those books were made into movies, they weren't really, like, they weren't horror. I mean, like, The Green Mile it's more of a drama piece, you know. But you know, certain stories, like, let's say, like Firestarter or Thinner, I mean, they would work well as a horror film, but you just have to add all those characters and make sure that the human element is there. I mean,
Yeah.
Thinner would probably, if you're not careful, probably come off as some sort of exploitation film. It may. I mean, the plot on paper sounds pretty silly, but, you know, like let's say, for example, you know, Scuttle Bug. The plot itself on paper, it sounds weird. Like, I wasn't at all trying to, like, take any credit away when I described it. And some of the ways I described it was pretty grotesque. Some I described it in kind of almost an exploitative angle, like oh, you'll never read something like this, you know, like a bug trying to burrow inside a woman. You'll never read this. But, like, I told my wife about the plot. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, like, when this happens, like, what? Like, that's crazy." So like, turning a story like that into a movie would be I don't know how you would do it.
No. No.
Like,
no.
let's take, for example, you know, this is actually a good segue to Brian's work, Caught in the Act, which, to me, when I read it, man, it seemed like it would be a side story in, like, a Sin City crime noir sort of comic. Like, it seemed like it would fit in that atmosphere, because we're talking about, like, lust and revenge and, like, you know, sizzling sex and shit like that. Like, but with a dark description, a dark light to it all. So, have you read that?
What's that?
I haven't actually. I think I might have. It's just right now, I've read so many different things. My brain is like all over the place with it.
Okay.
Caught in the Act. Yeah, that was on the blog, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on the blog.
Yeah.
It's on the site.
The site, yes. So I definitely did read it, and I thought it was like really pretty dark.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Brian J. Smith, what was the writing process behind Caught in the Act?
It was one of those stories that I like to call. It was the the very first paragraph was it kind of nitpicked at me. It kind of tapped me on the shoulder like a bully and just said, "You're going to do something with me, one way or the other, whether you like it or not." And I'm going, "Oh, okay," because I mean, everyone's told me when you get a paragraph, write it out and finish it. Just
Mhm.
don't stop until the story is done. And I got to thinking, what am I going to do with this? And I'm thinking, okay, I could have, okay, I've got this much, so I'll keep going. And I kept going and I kept going. I'm thinking, if I'm going to end this, I want to end it with a twist. I want to kind of, I want you to look at the card in this hand, but then I don't want you to see the one behind my back until I'm ready to pull my hand out, you know? Because I read a lot of old Robert Bloch tales, and if you've ever read Robert Bloch, that man always had a twist at the end of his stories that just kind of, you know, whoa, and this is the same man that wrote Psycho,
Mm.
and I mean, which is like masterpiece horror, and I've always wanted to sort of incorporate sometimes in my stories, kind of incorporate to where I kind of tell you, look at this, but I'm not going to show you what's over here until I'm ready to show you. Okay, you have to kind of, walk your way over here. I'll pull, the cloth away, and then I'll show you what is really going on. And that one, it that's kind of what I was going for. Was I was kind of roping you in, and you were probably thinking it was his wife when you was reading this. You're thinking, oh, there's going to be a woman come out of the dark, and all this here, and then here I go and boom, do something completely different.
Well, it definitely did have that, because as you're reading it, layers by layers, things get introduced, and you think of one thing, I was like college co-ed. Okay, he's definitely banging a student, and so what's going on here? Is it his wife? Is it her boyfriend? Like what's going on? Is it her dad? I don't know. It could be one of many things, um, but the level of detail, especially on like okay, what was it? There's a line that was like just perfect. I'm gonna pull it real fast. But yeah, the detail, the way the prose was, like I said, it reminded me of like Sin City. And I just got done finally watching A Dame to Kill For,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, this reads kind of like this. I can imagine it like being like I said, a side story in it.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, this part. The very first line, when the door flies open and hits the wall, it's already too late. My dick shrivels like a turtle dodging a bullet, and everything seems to slow down. That was so was that the paragraph that kept you?
I was sitting there thinking, how could I explain a shriveling dick? Could I say like a bucket of cold water? I mean, it's gotta have a bit of something behind it. I'm thinking
A bucket of cold water, or I don't know,
retracts.
dodging the bullet.
I'm like, well, and for like the life of me, because I grew up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, I'm thinking about that scene and the third one where the cannon comes out one of them and they sort of dodge their head down like that there, then they come up and start
Yeah.
grinning. So I'm going, well, that would be kind of a good emphasis to put on that. Would be like, hey, they'd be like a turtle dodging a bullet, and I'm going, perfect.
A turtle dodging a bullet.
Bullet.
See, like those were mutant turtles. I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the reaction time is enhanced. A real life turtle. Like, his dick would just get like shot off. Which would suck because that would mean that the college co-ed wouldn't really be able to like get her A that she wants to get. Oh man. Yeah, everything like the way the guy's like yeah, so yeah, it's centered it's focused on him. Um the hyperbolic sort of description, a sort of darkness. Like it's really short. It's a short. It almost seems like it's a scene. In fact, it was written. I believe when I received it, it almost sounded like it was a scene for like is this a glimpse into a world that you're creating, or what's going on?
It was just a story that popped up. I don't think. I mean, I'm not going to do. I'm not going to really do anything with it. It's just something I had the paragraph in mind, and I'm just going to write it out. And and the reason it has such kind of a dark, gritty kind of thing is that I'm starting to get more into dark, noir fiction, like I gotta say this. Not so much Mickey Spillane, but more like Ed McBain's old stuff, and
Okay.
some how can I say this? I'm trying to think of the right. Max Allan Collins,
Okay.
love Russ McDonald. I think it took me like 3 years to read every one of the Lou Archer novels, and that's where I'm kind of. And I've also got like Man with the Book of Pulp Fiction, and I read that thing like 3 times every other month, and I mean I'm wanting to sort of take some of my prose and kind of learn from that and say, well, this story calls for like some gritty, dark, down to the hit to the heart kind of prose, and this is how I tried to do it, was like go for the throat kind of thing.
Hmm. I mean, okay, and to me, so it's such a short story. I mean, it literally is like maybe 2 pages, maybe. But you put so much work into your prose, into your style, which is why it reads like how it does. It stands just fine on its own, but it could also be expanded into its own world. I mean, you could literally, I mean, find I don't know a talented graphic artist that is willing to collaborate and not steal your stuff and have your own series. I mean, it just takes it. All it requires is finding that right person.
Yeah.
But I, I mean, I'm in the market of looking for artists myself. I have plans for Deadman's Tome that I think would actually help the site like tremendously. Instead of releasing stories on a daily basis, release stories hopefully back to a daily basis, but with like artwork that goes along with it to help kind of just help deliver the story. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of people they like to see things. They don't really like to read things, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But a story as short as yours and as short as Scuttle Bug, I mean, it's like if you don't have the time to read that, then you just don't give a fuck. I mean, that's plain and simple. I mean,
because you got like a lot of people that are like going to work, or they have such a short lunch hour, and that's why I think flash fiction nowadays is so popular with people, because it's like, okay, there's this new story, but I've got a 30-minute lunch break, so whatever this guy's going to tell me, he's got at least 2 minutes to entertain me, or he's got such a short time to entertain me, or I'm just going to, ignore it. And that's why I think flash fiction, in a way, people sort of benefit from that, because it's not like, it's not so long they can finish it. They'll like end it. They'll finish it as soon as they start it, and they'll be like, "Whoa,"
Yeah, I mean that's right. I mean, you don't have much time to entertain people. You got to think about like who your audience is going to be, and when are you going to be able to connect with them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why a lot of people are trying to go for like. I was trying to get. And I actually do have some like books on tape or audio books. I have 2 stories so far that are in audio format. I'm trying to make it more of an incentive for people to become patrons of the site, but another thing that's weird is that I didn't even really do any shilling in the beginning. That's okay. If you're listening, you could actually support the magazine just by buying Deadman's Tome Book of Horrors. Mr. Johnson's Scuttle Bug is featured in it, and it is a remarkable short grotesque story. Trust me, it's one of the stories that when you I said this before already, that when you if you were to read it over a campfire, it would do well there. Oh, especially if you were like in a RV or in a cabin.
Yeah.
You knew there's fucking bugs there. Probably bug in the bed. And I said it before too. I think I do a lot of praise on certain stories. That I want them to get more exposure than what they have. And what I said about Johnson's story was like, it's one that if any woman were to read it, I'd imagine that they would be doing like extra loads of laundry just as a precaution. That's one thing I was going to ask you is if when your wife read it, assuming she's read it, because I don't know if you.
She did.
Oh, okay. And was she checking the bed multiple times or?
No, she's more like, okay, that was gross, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
And then she gave it.
She was a mouse in the house. All right. Bomb mouse. Okay.
Nope. We don't have any problems with any of those things. She just the only thing that she worries about are occasional bugs that get in at night, flying around.
Fucking bugs, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, man. It's like okay. As far as all the bugs out there, like in media and in fiction, what have you, like I would much rather much rather deal with like some sort of like Starship Troopers alien bug thing or one of those trimmer fucking bug things and deal with the thing you have, your Scuttle Bug. Scuttle Bug sounds like it would like gnaw off my dick and like try to like make a nest inside me. A trimmer thing would just
you gotta watch out.
If you make a sequel to this, which that would be super lame, don't do that. But you would be like, hey, I'm not a misogynist. See, like next victim's gonna be a man, and his dick gets eaten off. It's much more. It's much more than that. Okay, and like Mr. Johnson said, it's not about the fact. It's not about the bug trying to get inside the woman. It's about. Wait, isn't that what it was about? Because I was the one saying like, no, the bug is fascinated with the pink meat. Oh no. The bug is trying to make a nest inside the woman because they contaminate they put all the chemicals out in the house, and you can't live in the house as a bug. So where are you gonna live?
Yep.
In the human.
You gotta find a new place.
Yeah, you gotta find a new place, find a new home. Oh man.
It's babies.
I know. I digress from the point I was kind of on with Ryan about short stories and flash fiction and how you have short time to entertain.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting on a story. I've pretty much accepted already. I'm just waiting for our work. That man, if you think your story was gross as far as like having to do with female underparts, god damn, like this person is. It's not grotesque. It's not like gore porn or anything like that. But this guy, oh man, I don't want to give it away, but it's good. It's really good. It's disgusting. A swarm of flies in a certain area. It's nasty. But yes, Brian, we only have a short time to entertain people, which is why I mean, you gotta hit home as soon as you can. because people don't really have the time.
Because see, I've been told like in a novel you have like maybe, I don't know, 2 pages to hook somebody, or 10 pages,
Yeah, I heard that too.
2 to 10 pages to hook somebody, and if you haven't hooked them in 2 pages, they're just not gonna, no agent and no editor's going to want to have anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I mean, to me, that's like with flash fiction, you gotta hook them right then and there.
Yep.
I mean, you gotta like right then and there, and in a way, I mean, like he said with Stephen King, okay? Um, Stephen King, that man can hook you with the first sentence, okay?
Yeah.
He can just tell you, he can talk about the moon, and you're like, oh, I'm hooked,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he has a way of writing. He makes it seem as if it's like super casual. Like
yeah,
it doesn't like when I read one of his stories, one of his books. It's like I feel like just like a layman, just like talking to me, like telling me a story. Like he's not dressing up super fancy or anything like that. He's not being pretentious with it. He's like, I got a story to tell. This is it.
yeah, and I mean, and when it comes to like him just telling you a story, you know like he'll like I'm trying to think of the good phrase here. He doesn't fuck around, and that's
Yeah, he
why
doesn't fuck around.
people are like, I gotta
That's a
have the
good.
next one. I've got to have
That's a
the
good phrase
next
for
one.
this. He
You
doesn't fuck
know,
around.
I've got to have the next one, and that's why with the Dark Tower books, you read the first one and you're like, okay, what happens next? I got to find out what happens in the next one. And you're staying tuned to this whole thing because it just keeps getting good every time you read it.
Mm-hmm.
The trick is in the opening line, and like your story has an opening line that I don't think anyone could argue is. I mean, it's an opener. It's great. I mean, same thing as
Yeah,
Matthew Johnson's Scuttle Bug, Amanda's gut churned, ripping the delicate fabric of sleep. I mean, like already you got that something's happening. Waves of pain, shudder between her legs. That right there, especially as a male reader, as a heterosexual male reader, I'm like, whoa, what's going on there? What do you mean by between her legs? Where are we going here? I would think even as a chick, you'd be like, whoa, what's going on there? That's weird. And then so the opening line, that's I mean really as I see myself more as a publisher than an editor, but as the publisher of the site, yeah, when I read the submissions, if to be honest, if the first paragraph doesn't really get me, if the first line doesn't get me, it's probably not going to get anywhere. No, yeah, so you're right about that.
I read a lot of Jack Ketchum, and Jack Ketchum used to say he did like 5 tips on writing, and one of them was good opening sentence, good opening paragraph.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've always, carried with me from this day forward, was ever since he said that, because I think he said it in like an audio interview. I forgot what website it was, and he says good opening sentence, good opening paragraph. If you've got that, then you've got them hooked.
Yep.
And that's it. I mean, it sounds so simple. You're saying like that. The trick is making it work for your story.
Yeah.
I've read so many different types that no one can really argue that it doesn't work because man, the stuff lately on Deadman's Tome has been kind of out there, kind of weird, crazy. Even for me, I'm just like, whoa, But the opening lines, they get you. There's one on there. It's called Sex Toy. I'll admit, in the middle part, it does kind of lose me. Not so much where it bores me, but the opening line and the payoff at the end, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is good. But the opening line, it grabbed me because a certain theme, certain things were introduced that were provocative. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna fucking read this story. This is interesting.
Hmm.
It's crazy. All right, so hey Brian, have you read the anthology?
Not
You clearly
yet,
haven't.
though. I didn't know about the anthology until like 10 minutes ago,
Oh,
and I've got my girlfriend's gonna order me the anthology. She's like,
oh, that's cool.
you gotta read this if these stories are just as good in that one, then yeah.
Well, that
If
that
she
that,
don't
that
do it,
that'd
then I'll do
be
it.
awesome.
If she don't
I
do it,
need
then I'll do
I need to
it.
give Johnson his free coffee. I need to give him all their free coffee. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, that helps out. I mean, it definitely when you read it, because I mean, you could let us know in the or in the review. You could let us know, how the anthology was and all that. But I believe it's a solid piece. A lot of good stories there. So
Yeah, I've been advertising it out on Twitter and Facebook, trying to, get it out there.
I think we all have. We all have. Just about every day, I put something on Twitter about it. The point to where I'm like, man, I am in that South Park episode where I am the ad. I'm a walking ad, and just like I need to start doing this. Like I'm gonna lose followers. Like you're just a walking fucking ad, you fucker. God damn. But that's the other thing too. Trin talk about as well is that as a writer and as a publisher, like one thing you find out is people are cheap, and people don't like.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I mean, maybe it's not because people are cheap. Maybe it's because priorities. I get it. I have a steady job, but I have bills, and then I eat a lot of food I shouldn't eat. And stuff. It adds up
Yeah.
fast. This is $2, $5 fucking burgers. They're no good for you. They eat into your fucking
Yeah,
wallet,
it's just
man.
more or less. I've seen once people start getting really connected with it, I'm quite certain it'll start picking up because that's how it really works. I mean, word of mouth is the best advertisement.
Oh, it is. It is. It is. I mean, I only started recently putting it on ads on Facebook, and I don't even know if ads on Twitter even are worth it, but ads on Facebook, and I see some people looking at it, and there's some nibbles here and there, but we'll see. And word of mouth is the best.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the pre-orders were. I mean, right off the bat, we had like 10 copies pre-ordered. 10 copies sold. So, and that was just it's opening day. I mean, that's not like phenomenal. That's not like crazy like Stephen King numbers. That's not crazy like other magazines. Like Cemetery Dance probably I'm sure has a huge number, but I'm not at that level yet. For one day.
We gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very good to be part of the ground floor, to work your way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep getting the authors going, and hopefully one of us authors in there will take off, and then we can really push it.
Yeah, I think so. I think earlier, yeah, like last week, I was trolled with a Stephen King troll on one of the stories. I was like, "Is this really the real guy?" Well, I and some other author, we did some research, and I was like, no, this is not him. We know it's not him because he told us directly, no, that's not me. Oh, okay. But do you want to check out the site? Because it's cool. No, I haven't heard anything. All right, so we talked about inspiration, about your caught in the act. The whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what other projects you got going on?
Well, right now I have I did plan to write a short story, but now it's growing into something bigger. So I've got like 92 pages of it already, like wrote out, and I'm gonna pick back up on that on Monday, and I've still got some. I got some
Yeah.
books
I
on
think 2
Kindle.
pages isn't a short story.
No, no, no.
Definitely true.
It's like and I mentioned this on Facebook because I'm part of the horror writers group on Facebook, and that's mainly where I like get people's opinions to say, hey, is this better than this? What's your guys' opinions? And a lot of people tend to kind of sigh because I'm like, well, I want to stop it here, but the character still wants to keep going, and they kind of look at me and go, it's kind of, why would that, it's kind of, insane to let your character do all the talking for you since you're the one writing it. And I used to tell people, I'm like, I'm not the one who's I'm just the guy on the sidelines writing everything down. You know, that's what I do. I just write everything down as if I'm their biographer, and it's like I said, it's into like 92 pages. I'm gonna pick that back up on Monday, and then I got some Kindle books that are still available today. One's a paranormal mystery. One is a coming of age novel thing, and one is a paranormal. I'm into ghosts now. For some reason, I like the whole paranormal thing.
Okay. What's the name of the paranormal book?
There's two of them. One's called 3 o'clock.
Something that happens at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. And the other one's called Dark Avenues.
Dark what?
Dark Avenues.
All right. Now I kind of get what they're saying as far as not to criticize you or anything like that, but I kind of get what the group is saying about the characters running the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a balance. I mean, you want your characters to be fleshed out, and you want to be able to explore as much as you can with them. You definitely want to just cut it off, but at the same time, you don't want your characters to drag on and delve into conversations and things that maybe don't really contribute much. But what you said earlier, that one method where you just write it out, you don't stop, and then you go back, and then the fluff you can cut that shit out, but you can leave everything else that matters. And maybe I mean, some people I guess would argue that everything matters, but in this day and age, especially when people have shorter attention spans, it seems like, and don't have much time to read or really soak in your entertainment, you gotta hit them. You gotta you hook them in, and then you don't want to bore them with fluff.
Yeah.
So it's like you have your characters, you let them run, you write it down, but then you have to look over what happened and be like, okay, as a sideline guy, yeah, I'm sitting there on the sidelines watching what they do, and I'm writing all out. But then I need to go in there and be the referee, be like, oh wait, this stuff, no, I would never really delete it. I would just copy and paste it to some other file and just let it sit there and be like, maybe I'll go back to it. But that is an art. That's what they call it, a craft, right?
Yeah.
Anything you want to say, Matthew? I'm sorry?
Oh, so it's important to let your characters have their say, but then in the end, you're the ultimate one. Who do you want to see what they're saying, and is it really relevant to the story?
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to be the guy in charge.
Yep.
Otherwise, you have the equivalent to one of those movies that just goes on forever and never stops. Never stops. Speaking of which, have you seen the new Ghostbusters? No. It's not as bad as the internet made it out to be.
That's good.
But it's like I guess one thing I'll definitely agree on is that it, it probably should have ended during the climactic scene and not the casual conversation they were having at a diner afterwards. Um, I don't know. I don't really know how to compare it other than to. Have you ever seen the movie Pineapple Express?
Oh
Or
yeah.
okay, you know how that movie ended like a casual. They had a conversation at the end. They're talking about everything that happened because everything was crazy, right? And kind of doing what stoners do. They kind of hang out at like IHOP or Denny's at late odd hours and have conversations, I guess sometimes. But that's how this one ended.
Huh.
Like you don't have to wrap it up like that. Like the original just wrapped it up like right afterwards, like right after they destroyed the right after the end scene, like you just had the crazy. It wasn't even snow. It was like the marshmallow gook crap.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Everyone was celebrating. That's it. We're good. But yeah, otherwise you'll end up with something like that where the characters just run on forever. Or you'll have a character like me in your story that just runs on forever, digresses all the fucking time, and you have that. All right. So, and don't worry, Johnson. I'll get to you too. But as far as your project, this paranormal story, 3 o'clock. What's it like?
It's pretty good. It's like Cottonyac. It's got a twist ending to it. I think people will enjoy it. I think people will like it because it's got the whole knickknacks flying everywhere and
Ouija
phone
boards.
ringing. It's got like knickknacks flying everywhere. It's got the phone ringing by itself, and it's got like it's suspenseful. It's got maybe one really gory scene in it that would make people not want to eat a sub. I don't want to ruin it.
I hear you. Now, as
And
far as paranormal activity stuff goes, I mean, you dabble in that? You did any ghost hunting or anything?
I believe in them. But when it comes to the Paranormal Activity movies, I've gotten as far as the first. Actually, I've gotten as far as the third one, and then I stopped. Because then they started getting a little ridiculous. I'm going, okay, so now 4 comes out, and people are like, no, it doesn't end like that. They keep it going, and I'm going, okay. And then, then people are going, well, there's, the marked ones, and I'm going, oh my God, are you kidding me? I thought they were going to end this at 4.
To be honest, when the first one came out, someone like I had a very quick sort of dabble into like filmmaking stuff, and then when the first one came out, I'm like, oh wait, I don't really have to try so hard. I can make like a paranormal thing, and it it didn't really turn out the way it should have. And I think you see a lot of people do that. They try to duplicate that, and it creates like because it makes it seem easier than what it actually is. You just have to have planning, really. But the other ones I haven't really watched, like Paranormal Activity 3, I did not watch, but I did. Wait, I think I did watch that one. Not sure. I remember trying to watch them because I was like, I wonder what's gonna try to do next, like because everyone's gonna have like that scene because they're gonna have to outdo the previous one, right? They're like, okay, what are we gonna do this time? Mm-hmm. And I think it was after the third one. Was the third one the one where the boy was named Wyatt? There was like a boy named Wyatt or something.
No, it was the one where it was to when the 2 girls were little. It went back. It went back to when they were little.
Okay. See, like I found the story themselves. Like the story was. I felt like they could have done more with that because after watching it, I was like, I don't feel satisfied as far as what's going on in the story. I just feel like I just watch a bunch of found footage, and now I have more questions than answers, and I really don't think the series is ever really going to give me those answers. But I'd imagine, I mean, that's how you make a series that you can milk.
Yeah.
Make money off, like
because
Saw.
after
Which they're
like
bringing back.
yeah, after the third one, I mean, my brother and sister, they were like all into those, and I'm like, no, you guys have fun. You guys have fun on your own because I'm not messing with this anymore. Okay, and they're like, "Oh man, it's going to be real good." This last one here, the Ghost Dimension, it's going to be like, the very, it's supposed to be the last one. And I'm going, no, it's not, because they're going to do
Nah,
another
they're
one,
making
and they're
money.
going
It's
to do
not.
another one. They're not going to stop milking a
Not
dead
gonna
cow. That's
stop.
what I used to call it. I used to,
The producers aren't going to let it stop.
yeah,
See, the job of the producer is to, milk it as much as possible until the point to where directors are like, no, no, we're not doing this anymore. We just can't do this anymore. Okay, we'll stop for a while. Then
yeah,
bring back like they're doing with Saul.
yeah.
Jeez, like I don't know.
My
Johnson, you're
camera
pretty quiet. You got
My
anything? You got to chime in?
Well, what I know is with movies, they want that franchise. They want that one where they can just keep making that money, and they'll milk it until it's done.
Yeah.
And if it's successful, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
There's always going to be a market, and people are going to want to see it.
Yeah.
But do I call it high art? No.
No. No. So, hey, Johnson, do you have any experience with the paranormal?
Not really, per se. Basically, the house I grew up in, my stepfather, his his father died in the house, so there was a little bit of signs about, you smell pipe smoke, dog would bark in a room for no reason, stuff like that. Nothing major, but not like what Hollywood makes it out to be.
Yeah. And I asked that with some reluctance because like I have tried myself. I've tried to really get into the paranormal and really try to like provoke demons, spirits, what have you. I told this story before, but I was into this chick I dated once long ago, like when I was in high school. I was into this Wicca stuff, and she was all into like these rituals and stuff. Half of it probably was crap she found off the internet that was fake. Okay.
Yeah.
Which, but I was like, let's do it. Come on, let's like do these things because like I haven't seen a ghost, and why not? Let's just do it. What's the problem? It's like oh, Ouija boards. This always comes up, Ouija boards. She's like, don't ever use a Ouija board by yourself. Why? Because it opens up portals. Let's open to the fucking portal. Like, is this like Diablo? Am I gonna open a portal and I can just like go into a town and buy armor? I don't know. I don't know if you guys ever played Diablo, but crazy. And this is like when I was in high school, and I was kind of like kind of instigating the whole thing. I was like, let's see. I'm not trying to mock you, but I'm just curious. You say it does this, so. And then I used to work at a psych facility. Okay, like with patients that are like crazy in a place that some crazy things went down. Like people, I don't think we've ever really had a death. Well, there have been a few deaths there, not on my watch, but people would say it's haunted. This unit's haunted. There's ghosts. You can see spirits and stuff, but for the life of me, I have never seen it. And they'll be like, well, if you're staying in this one area, it's really cold. Okay, that is kind of weird. But, like, if you're a ghost, why would you just change the temp? Like, why would you just linger in, like, one spot? Like, why don't you just... And I asked that because this. And maybe Brian can help me with this. And I had this question when I was watching Ghostbusters today. Two things. One, why do ghosts wear clothes if they wear clothes? Like what's that? Is that bullshit? And the other thing is, if you could be a ghost, if you come back, why not just freaking haunt the living shit out of people? Just like prank the fuck out of them. Like I'd be knocking shit off the shelves and be like, oh, watch this, motherfuckers. You like that new TV you got? Guess what? Bam, it's done.
Bam, down.
I mean, who would stop me? Ghost police? Oh,
Yeah. Well, apparently, you go to Gettysburg, they have some good tales down there, especially what you were just referring to, knocking things down. This one woman is talking about how she would have drawers opened up and like knives would fly across the room.
that's my kind of ghost. That's the ghost I want to hang out with.
Yeah, that's an angry ghost.
Yeah.
But
When I die, I'll come back and I'll join them and be like, I don't have a reason to be angry, not like you, but I just want to have some fun. That's it. Freak some people out,
yeah,
you know. Possess a vending machine and just have things like fly out of people. It sounds kind of lame. Possess a car. Oh man, you can do so much with that. So much. You could possess a bug and crawl into a woman.
and lay your ghostly eggs. Progeny carries on.
Yeah, so many. You could possess a college co-ed and make a teacher think he's gonna get some
Yeah.
until it's too late.
I don't think
So,
they wear clothes. I don't think honestly that they wear clothes.
Yeah.
I just think like they just like pick random times to just fuck with us. Like I mean, they just like if we're standing in like the next room, they like to slam doors.
Yeah.
You know, like
So,
you
like-
said to prank us. Like, hey, watch this. Boom.
So
You know?
you haven't seen a ghost, right?
Me, I've had a few paranormal experiences where I've been like, I was like 23 years old, and I had like this cleaning fit in me where I was like, hey, I'll clean the house while, mom and dad are gone. And I was, in the bathroom scrubbing on the tub with Comet and an old sponge, and all of a sudden, boom, door comes. And I'm like, well, that's kind of, so I kind of just locked the door and shut it. And next thing I know, that door comes right back open again. I'm going, that door was locked. I mean, I even tried the handle. I even tried, I shook the knob going, okay, nothing is going to open that door. Lock the door, go back to the tub, start scrubbing, bam.
So you had a
Door's
lock picking
wide open.
ghost. You had a ghost that could pick locks that was pissed
Yeah.
off that you're using Comet instead of I don't know,
Pine salt.
Index or what have you. Yeah, Lysol. Crazy. Might have been one of those like old like I don't know housekeepers, like a maid or something that was like pissed off they're using the wrong cleaning products.
Yeah, I asked the landlord. I said, have you been getting told about any like weird ghost sightings? He says, I was told that this place, like there was a couple back in like the 1800s who he told me now. He says, don't hold me to this, but they were so religious that they sort of drank the poison Kool-Aid, if you get my drift, and they just bam died. They just, I mean, full blown suicide pact.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
And I'm going, wow. I'm in a suicide house. But he was like, don't hold it to me.
So you would pay more to be in a suicide house. You got a suicide house. Put an extra $5,000 on that. Normally we reduce the price if it's a suicide house. Nah, man, I'm paying for this privilege. And you got crazy doors, man.
Crazy doors flying open.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ghost sightings have been pretty much been in my family. Like my grandma told me she was brushing her hair and the brush just flew across the room and hit the wall.
No, she was.
I mean,
No,
it was like somebody
I don't know your
pulled
grandmother.
it like.
I don't know your grandmother, and I'm gonna say something to me. Man, she was just. Your grandmother was an alcoholic. She was just drunk, and she was just combing her hair one day, just doing that shit, and she didn't want to own up to it.
That's what I
hair
said.
there, you know.
I know that because my grandma's an alcoholic.
And
No.
and my dad was like, well, our old house that we used to live in, it was on a Civil War. It was on an old Civil War
Okay.
battlefield. And he says one day I woke up and there's this guy in like a Civil War outfit, and he's just
So
standing
he's
at the
wearing clothes.
foot of my bed, and I'm going, I don't believe it was wearing clothes. I
So
never
weird.
thought ghosts to wear clothes. But he said
I mean,
no, this
clothes
guy
aren't.
was a Civil War
Clothes don't have a
guard,
soul.
and he got out of bed, and the ghost went in the closet, and he opened the closet, and the ghost wasn't there. It was just. I'm going. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm just ghosts do not wear clothes.
Run around naked ghosts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to see more naked ghosts. Like even if it's like one of those like there's gonna be like a big fat grotesque ghost. I mean, it's just like just no, just have those flapjacks flopping around. Just like it makes like I tell my wife this all the time. I'm like, why is that ghost wearing clothes? Like last time I checked, clothes don't have a soul or anything. Like what is a ghost? Is it supposed to be a soul or a spirit or leftover energy? Like I don't understand. And but I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess movies make sense because they have to censor it. They can't just have like naked people walking all over the place without.
Yeah.
But
Apparently,
you
with
can have
for
naked people in
ghosts,
your
there.
books. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
I
ghost
think you
things,
were
but
saying
that's
something.
okay. But
Oh, okay.
basically, I mean, you classify ghosts in a couple categories there. From the energy to the actual spirit itself. I mean, I always think of ghosts as the after image of the event, and at the time, I go with a quantum physics type of idea of time. We're existing all at the very same moment, and we're only experiencing what our senses tell us. And ghosts are kind of like those moments that happen, but you're getting a glimpse of them, or maybe potential to come.
Okay, so that could actually explain why, if they are wearing clothes, they're wearing clothes a little bit. Like it's like an impression just left in
Yeah.
time that kind of plays out like how it would play out, but like like just like a fragment of a clip. They probably wouldn't even really interact with you. They're just stuck in their own animation forever. Just whatever it is.
Yep. From the ones that I've read, yeah, basically that's what they said. It's just like seeing a whole tape being played over and over and over again.
See, that would be cool to see. And I say that knowing full well that if I were to see that, I'd probably shit my pants. But I want to pretend to say no, wouldn't. Like, man, I want to see that. I want to see that. And then after this podcast ends, and I'll be like, man, I really hope I don't see a ghost right now. I really don't want to see a ghost right now.
I'm afraid to see a bug.
Bugs and ghosts, man. Like, well, what's worse?
Bugs.
I think I'd rather see a little. I think I'd rather see a strange Asian ghost in my kitchen than see a roach. I don't know, because at least it'd be like, whoa. I didn't watch any tape with you, so I'm not the victim. I'm not the target. You're at the wrong house. I'm squash that. But bugs, fuck, man. Bugs. Yeah, that's what happens in these things. Like we go all crazy and talk about all sorts of stuff. Like I wasn't even expecting to talk about ghosts, and we talk about ghosts. And I was expecting to talk about bugs, a lot of bugs. Sin City. And then to go back to like the crime war Sin City thing. I said Sim City, Sin City. The artwork, man. I don't know. Maybe it's because straight male, but the artwork is awesome. Like I know it's cliche. It uses a lot of pinups, what have you, but I don't know. It I can't deny it works. It works for me. You guys still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask about Sin City. You said that's like the only graphic novel you would actually read, right?
Yeah.
All right. And why is that?
It's the prose. I like the prose, how he sort of tends to kind of, explain how cool the air is. And he gets all Raymond Chandler on you. Okay, if you've
Hmm.
ever read Raymond Chandler, you know,
Hmm.
I remember, him saying in the interview that was all he read was Raymond Chandler. If you were
Hmm.
to give him a book and say, okay, Big Sleep, chapter 4, he could tell you the whole chapter word for word. And you kind of go, wow. I mean, you read all those books and you know them by heart.
Hmm.
And I Sin City is good to me because of the prose and the situations he puts in the characters and the emotions that he puts into them. It makes you want to stick around. Like if you've ever read, like my favorite Sin City comic book would have to be The Hard Goodbye with
Okay.
Marv, where he goes, and I kind of I liked it because you felt a little, not just because you wanted to find out what happened to Goldie, but you wanted, a mean motherfucker like Marv to find out because you know what was going to happen.
Hmm.
There was going to be a lot of, there was going to be some blood spilled. There was going to be, you know, it was going to turn out the way that we wanted it to, which was, the bad guy's going to go down,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and it's
yeah,
that's one thing I enjoyed about that series was that even though it used a lot of cliches and stereotypes, what have you, it delivered on it. It was like, yeah, so Marv is like the stereotype of this really strong, like fully masculine guy, what have you. He is a, I guess you could say he is sort of a power fantasy for guys, but he's ugly as fuck. But
yeah,
um, he doesn't need looks because the
no,
chicks come to him for protection. He's like
yeah,
come to him because they'll keep him safe
yeah. It's
because he
like,
can.
yeah, it's kind of
He's
like
fucking crazy.
Beauty and the Beast. Like at
Yeah.
first she was like, well, I mean, she's like, he's a man, he's a beast, but then he's like, I'll protect you, I'll protect you from everything and anything, and that's what Marv is. He's the beast, and Goldie was the beauty. Well, I mean, that's why characters feel so like they like him because they want to know what happens, and it's someone like Marv is like, you know a girl nowadays look at him and go, I wouldn't touch him to save my life, you know? And that's where guys are like, well, she wasn't really just after him for the sex, she wanted protection.
Yeah.
And if you wanted protection and if you wanted it from him, pretty much, I mean, you would get it any way you could. I mean, I'm not like saying, all women or, if they want protection, they're just gonna, have sex with the first guy they look at. Yeah, I mean, that's not what I'm saying. But it's just, and it kept the story going, and that's what I like about the Sin City, comics was that, I mean, the graphic novels was that you wanted to find out what happened. It kept you riveted. It kept you glued to the page, and that's why they're so good.
Yeah, and it also helps that it's graphic, mature, and it doesn't toy around with that. It's gonna deliver a hard story. Um, it might be, like I say, cliche at times and titillating and all that, but that just helps, especially the provocative uh, aspect of it, because it's Sin City. It's just dirty ass, gritty, um, dark atmosphere. Even the cops wanna taste.
Yeah.
Um, Now I know we talked, and like I said, sometimes jump around, but I know we talked a lot about your projects and all that. I don't really feel like I've given Matthew much of a talk about his projects and all that. And Matthew, what's going on? What you got going on lately?
Well, right now, basically, I have a novella printed out, Retribution. It's in print and ebook. There's fantasy. The next people read it, they liked it, and they wanted more.
Retribution?
Yep, Retribution.
Okay,
So,
see, I'm gonna write this down. So hopefully, I remember in the morning, so I can put that in the description box. If you guys don't see these links in the box, remind me. And you said it was a fantasy.
yes.
Fantasy.
Yeah. And I have the next one working on. It should be out in September. It's called Ascension.
Dissension. Is it like a series?
Yeah, it's gonna basically be a total of 2 books with 1 novella, and there's gonna be side novellas for other character stories, and one other side book for other character that's in there too. So it's like
That's
a
cool.
spider web type thing.
Yeah. So you definitely do more than horror.
Oh yeah.
How long have you been writing?
Ooh, let me see. Basically, I started really getting interested in writing the summer between the junior and senior year, so that'll be 1994.
Damn.
Yep, I
You
read Life and Death of Superman.
oh,
It was amazing. I was like, wow.
that was. I mean, that's something that's that's one of those things that sticks with you.
Yeah.
Now, you by any chance? I mean, as writing as a junior and a senior in high school, were you submitting work then, or was it just a hobby, or?
I was developing, more or less, reading and developing, because I was way behind on my reading, and I needed to read and develop. I really didn't start submitting until like the last few years, and gathering market information, all that stuff. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Might as well just do self-published start. Know the process.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that can make it work. I think those that realize that it's not. I mean, it's so easy to look at self-publishing as a cop out, as like it's easy because you are your own judge. But with that, you have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Is this at a level that people will take? You know, does it have that, like we said before, does it have that initial line, that the paragraph, the first 2 pages that's going to really grab someone? Or is it going to suck?
That's why I always have people who read it for me. I'll write it out and say, here, check it out. And then they go through and they tear it to pieces.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so let me kind of see what I got left. Put it
And
back
Brian,
together.
what about you? How long have you been writing?
Well, I started when I was 13, and I started doing it because I didn't really have many friends, and I kind of used it as a tool for, boredom. I was just, like I said, I wasn't popular. I was the quiet kid in the whole school, and the more I started doing it, the more I started to like it, and then I've been kind of doing it probably since about, and then I mean, I started to get serious about it like in like '96, when I would just write short stories, but I didn't really write any novels until after I graduated high school in
I
'99.
see.
And then that was when I had like all the time in the world to do it, And I mean, I've wrote like, let's see, probably three novels, and I'm wanting to do more. But then I have this thing where, I like to do short stories a lot more.
Mm.
You
So you have work submitted and published elsewhere as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like where?
I got a story in the Seventh Sin anthology.
Mm.
I have a story in let me see here, Book of Cannibals 2.
Book of what?
Book of Cannibals 2, The Hunger.
Book of Cannibals. Okay.
And I've got one in Book of the Dead 2.
Book of the
And
Dead too.
yeah, Book of the Dead 2. I was into zombies. I
Mhm.
had to think about zombies, and
It seems to be pretty infectious. It tends to happen.
and trying to think what else here I have. I got like a few things on Flashes in the Dark, Ezine,
Okay.
Carnage Conservatory. I I think I published to her twice. I think I published on Carnage Conservatory twice.
Yeah, I'm hearing all these names. I definitely need to network more with some of these other zines and stuff and see if we can help each other out. But that's, what about Matthew? Your work gets published other places as well, right?
Um, just one other anthology, like Murder by the Letter, Alphabet Murders.
Okay.
It,
I mean, that's
yeah,
something. I mean,
yeah, it was basically from this other site. They were all like, "Hey, let's do an anthology." I'm like, "Okay," so they gave us letters.
so what, they just give you a letter and you just choose it and.
Yep, and I made a couple stories. I got S, and what else did I get? Oh, X, which I made into E, because there's no words with X.
Oh. Xylophone. You could write about a cursed xylophone that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could have written about a cursed xylophone. Stephen King could probably pull it off. Where you play a certain tone on the xylophone, and I don't know, a bug comes out and like tries to like crop your dick. I mean, you could have fit Scuttle Bug in that if you really wanted to. Like, I'm working on this one story. I don't have anything that starts with X. I'll just throw a xylophone in there. I don't know.
Why not?
They might figure that one out though. They might be like, man, this story's kind of throwing together.
Yeah, a little convoluted there.
Yeah, you gotta have an X-ray machine that takes your soul. I don't.
Yeah, how'd that work?
Yeah.
They're taking a picture of your insides. It takes your insides.
Yeah. You could just start like just looking at well, there's only a few words to support X. You're right. Like I can't really think of much more. X-ray, xylophone,
Yeah.
xenophobe.
Yeah, I thought about Xenophobe too, and I started doing something with that. Only it was like, this can't work as a short story. It was.
Mm-mm.
It was like, whoa, this is too much here. I can't do this. It's gonna sound stupid. So I did Excalibur.
Oh, that works.
It was a modern take on Excalibur, basically.
That's cool. That's cool. So make sure I plug that as well. We'll put that in the box. You gotta check that out. A modern take on Excalibur. What sort of liberties am I to expect?
Well, with my modern take, basically, it was putting the setting not in the time of knighthood, but in a modern apartment. And instead of having
Okay.
Morgan being the witch, she was a half sister.
Was she a hoe?
Apparently,
Oh,
something along those lines.
like she could be like one of these crazy like crack hoes that like is like really spiritual, really into things. Like she just like thinks she connects, and like everyone in the apartment complex kind of knows her, and because knows her personally, but she supposedly like can see the future, can tell people story. I don't know.
And I had the lake come out of the hand, that rises up from the lake. In this case, it came out of the toilet.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so who was the knights? Were they like just gangsters, or
They weren't even in.
like,
It was a short story, so I didn't have time to write them in. I might actually expand that out
dude,
into
that
something more.
sounds so awesome.
It's a satirical fantasy, urban fantasy satire. I might do something.
Man, that sounds so fucking awesome. Yeah, the lady of the lake lives in the toilet. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's awesome. I gotta check that out now. Just for that alone. Is Arthur like?
He basically
I'm guessing Arthur's living in a pretty rough neighborhood. Is he?
he's living in a house. And basically, he found the sword on eBay.
Ah. Is he a product of like like a broken household and like I don't know a drug-ridden family and stuff too? Is he like?
I see him more of an obsessed like comic book nerd, like obsessed with all the
Okay.
and all that.
That works too. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's buying all these relics and all. He's like, oh, they found the real Excalibur. I gotta get that now. Replaced by plastic one on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, those were fun. It was just basically for fun. Good practice. But
You got any other projects?
yeah, I do have a horror novel. That one, hopefully we'll get it done out in the fall. I'm
Okay.
about halfway done with it. That one's a little bit more creepier.
Okay.
It takes serial killer to the next level. Because literally, Serial's convincing the guy to kill his family.
He's eating like a bowl of Lucky Charms.
I'm more like the generic version of Rice Krispies.
Oh, not even the good cereal.
Nope.
He's eating some boring ass cereal. He's just like, I hate my fucking life. I'll go out and fucking
Basically,
murder some people.
along those lines, yeah. His life just
Like-
kind of goes spiraling out of nowhere,
You know what level you are. You know what level you are in life based on the cereal that you eat.
Yep.
And lately, I've been eating this rice shit, poofy, puffy rice shit.
With
But
like
still,
soggy old mouths.
yeah, the soggy, like week old milk. It's like the guy hates his life. Man, that's awesome. We gotta check that out.
Yeah.
It seemed like
Yeah,
definitely. I would love to review that and just whatever I can do with that would be great. Wow. Wow, Johnson. I think you have a thing for taking something that would seem absurd, and bizarre, and just running with it. Be like, you know what? I want to do a story about a monkey that bites a dude's ass out of a toilet. He sits down on a toilet, and a monkey just no. You know what? That sounds too normal.
well, it is, because I actually do have one story about a killer toilet.
You do?
Yep. Not out. It's not done. It's one of those ones that's progressing along. Once I get a couple more of the other horror novels, I'll do my Team Connection thing.
See,
And
that's one thing that Deadman Some needs is stories that are so haunting that you don't even want to take a shit anymore. Like, oh, this story will scare the shit out of you, but you're not gonna want to slap your ass down on the toilet. It's just gonna fucking eat you. Oh man,
Yep.
that's awesome.
it all works.
Oh man, like just imagine some drunk bitch just like puking into the toilet, and the toilet gets all pissed off, and just like devouring her face. Oh man.
Yeah, it's more or less
Crazy.
possessed. So yeah, and it's something along those lines.
Oh. Oh, Brian's all like, man, what the fuck am I listening to? The hell? I just read about a story about this college co-ed getting banged and paranormal stuff. But hey, let me tell you something about paranormal stuff, man. I swear to God, if I go in my bathroom right now and it starts like talking to me, I'd be freaked the fuck out. I'd be like, that's it. I believe in ghosts. I believe in things. I don't know. I don't know anymore. If I saw that, I would sign off. I'd be like, everything I thought I didn't believe in, I now believe in. everything, aliens, UFOs, like everything, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, yeah,
Yep.
just yep.
Hang out in your backyard, waiting to bite your rear end.
Well, you guys, it's almost that time. You guys have anything else you want to shoot shit about? No? You have anything else you want to plug? Because now's the perfect time.
No.
No? Okay.
Again.
Well, one way I would definitely want to end this is, I try to anyway, is, what is Deadman's Tome to you? So, Mr. Smith, what's Deadman's Tome to you?
I very much enjoyed it. I mean, from what I've been reading on there, before I submitted, I read what you'd published on there before, and that's what sort of kind of said, well, see if give this place a shot. And as far as my recollection is, I think I tried to publish to you like 3 times, and I sent you like the worst shit I've ever done.
You did?
Yeah. and it was just like, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try this one more time. I'm gonna give it like the lucky, like one more, the whole 4-leaf clover. I'm gonna go 4-leaf clover and send this guy one more story, and hopefully this one will ring true. But
strange.
I very much enjoyed it. I really did. From what you have on there, and from what I was looking at the anthology, I very much enjoyed it. It's really good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. But as far as the submissions go, did you even receive a reply from me?
Yeah, I mean, when you
Okay.
like it said, I loved it. I'll send you a contract soon.
Oh, that was for Caught in the Act, though, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
like I said,
But for the other ones,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's weird. Sometimes I guess things do get kind of lost, and it tends to happen. I mean, it's the same email that I use for some other stuff. But well, Caught in the Act is awesome. It's a great story. I'm glad to have it on the site.
Well, thank you again for publishing it.
The only thing I wish I had was artwork to go along with it.
Yeah.
And I'm working on trying to get some artists. I have one that I know she likes to get paid. They tend to like to get paid a little bit more so than writers do. It's weird. They I don't know. They kind of ask for a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Johnson, Matthew Johnson, author of Scuttle Bug. What's Deadman Tome to you, man?
For me, it's a place to find some really great, not the typical horror stories. It's a place to find some really awesome stories that you wouldn't be able to get out there because people are just too afraid to take a chance because they might be too grotesque, maybe too off the wall. But here, that's
like a possessed toilet. I'd say, if no one else will take that. Like, as long as it reads well, I'll probably take that shit. And I say shit. I don't even mean it like that. I mean, like, oh wow, that joke runs in so many levels. But that's crazy. It works, and it'll definitely stick with people. They're like, this motherfucker has a story about a toilet that eats people. That's crazy.
Yep.
But it works. It's unique. Man, there's a motherfucker I'd like to interview one day. I'm friends with him on Facebook. You probably met him too. Brent Millis. Man, he's working on a story. It's a kaiju, like monster, Japanese monster story. But it's not about kaiju's fighting in the city. It's about kaiju's fucking in the city. You watch like Godzilla and stuff like that, right? They're always like doing battle in the fucking city. But I'm like, wait. What else do they do? Like, do they just fight over turf? They don't like mate on the turf? Like, there has to be that one movie that would never be made, a screenplay where like Godzilla's fucking Mothra, like right there.
Monster porn.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Except, yeah, he himself was like, yeah, it's pretty much kaiju porn. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I want to read that shit. But
No, why not? Dinosaur stuff. So dinosaur
Yeah.
porn. All. Why not?
well, dinosaur porn is just too normal for me. I mean, you gotta make it kaiju or something.
Get that whole side Godzilla.
And you guys have been awesome. I'm glad to have this time to talk with you guys, and I really hope people start going crazy over the anthology. I mean, that will help the site tremendously, help the magazine. And with that said, man, that's it. It was great having you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well,
No problem.
Thanks for, having me on. This being my first one.
It's great. It's great.
Yep.